Like if you say, oh, Larry Bird couldn't play in today's game, he's Bird with a handle.
Patrick Mahomes is going to wipe the floor with the 49ers. It's not going to be close. Give me every prop over Patrick Mahomes passing yards, Travis Kelce touchdowns, Isaiah Pacheco rushing yards.
I will say that third round pick that we got for Chase Young, the Redskins, it's looking better and better as the days go by. Oh, snap.
Yeah, you see my guy's got just... Yeah, he doesn't got the best set of pearly whites.
His teeth look like his breath is kicking like Mr. Miyagi.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like
That's
I got
defense, though. That screams, I call a good defense. Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. You see, I've got my Clinton Portis jersey on today, so the weeks of playoff sadness continue. We're not throwing it to the bearded one in the back. We got the bearded one to my right.
I have made it.
You have come around the bench.
Did you like the way I propositioned it today? Because we have an engineer who finally can understand sports and that can take that role away from me. And I was like, Josh, I can be how Colin Cowherd has his sidekick. I can tee you up with questions. And he's like, no, you're going to come sit right next to me.
You're George. You're not.
I'm not Statman.
You're not Stat Baby. You're not Stat Man.
Baby. There we go.
You're not, you're George Baby, as I said earlier. You know what I mean? You're different. So.
I get a new nickname. I'm not the Bearded Wonder anymore. I'm George Baby.
That's it.
George Baby.
The beard, the greasy beard George.
It's not greasy, okay?
It's
oily.
It's got the...
It's healthy.
As Ro used to say, it glistens. It glistens in the light.
Yeah, dude. I look like the streamers that people hang at parties. Tinsel.
We do have. I don't have a camera for said man in the back, but Mr. Jory, do you have a mic? Does he at least have a mic?
I have a mic.
Okay. He does have a mic. So I guess it's just the voice of God. Then you can't see him today.
Eventually,
but maybe he comes out too, and then it's the three amigos. So
wow.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I like that.
See how that goes.
I like the sound of that. But
yeah, man. I mean, another great sports week, another great sports weekend. Some sadness. You know what I mean? We'll get into some of the football games. Some craziness in the NBA with all the crazy scoring. But we've got to. We'll start around the world in sports. Up first, George. The Australian Open is finally over. We crowned our 2024 champions. Congrats to Aryna Sablenka on her second major victory. And George, congratulations to Jannick Sinner winning his first major title. Came back from 2 sets down. But more importantly, he beat Novak Djokovic in the semis.
That's big for you.
That's all I care about, baby.
You said it last week. You're like, Novak just can't win.
Just get Novak out of there.
When I was reading that initially, I thought you said he came back down 2 sets versus Djokovic.
Oh,
that would have been an all-time collapse.
Oh no. He won that one. He won in 4 sets. So Joker only got 1 set off of him. But yeah, man.
It's the toughest sport. When you are down, the road to winning after being down multiple sets, how do you have the mental power to say oh my gosh, in order for me to win, I got to play another hour and a half of tennis.
2 hours, dude. Sometimes 3 hours.
Yes.
But you know what though? I will actually push back because I will say it depends on the person. Like Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, those guys are, it's you got to get 3.
Yep.
You got to get 3. So it's even if you get to 2, and if you lose that 3rd set in miraculous fashion, it was a tie break, or maybe you had a match point and the person fights all the way back and wins the set, you're probably going to lose in 5.
Yeah.
You're probably going to lose in 5.
What is it? The hockey's the most dangerous score is being up 2-0?
God,
like or soccer too.
That
like,
2-score lead.
Yeah.
Get it to 3. Please get it to 3.
No, it's the same thing in tennis now. No, I get it. It makes sense.
You got to finish me. You got to finish it off. But
I need to have an alarm set on my phone for like when tennis matches now become interesting. Like I feel like because I just can't watch 4 hours of tennis.
Really?
Like
See,
I'm down to watch the last 20 minutes.
That's interesting. Like I will watch when it's not, you know, because the West Coast, man, this like time zone difference is so tough on the Australian Open because matches will come on at like 2 a.m. I got to set my alarms. And it's like, bro, if Nadal's not like on a heater, I'm like, just let me know he kept winning.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about. But yeah, no, if it's like a big match, locked in. Like Serena, I'd be locked in throughout. I'd be locked in watching them warm up when they're just like.
Yeah. No, I got to go watch it in person. That's one sport that like I'm down to check out in person. It'll change my mind, and I'll be less grouchy of
in person. It's
fan.
fun. In person, it's fun. I have to get to a major. I've never been to a major, so one of these years, one of these Augusts, I have to go to the U.S. Open. I keep trying to make it work with possibly going to like a Jets or Giants preseason game as well. And so then it's like, okay, that made sense. Or like going to the Yankees or the Mets.
Yeah, you got to parlay it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a weekend.
You take vacations as a sports fan to go watch more sports. If you're not like what
I might not even should say this out loud because this is secret sauce that Jesus gave in the middle of just nothing. I'm like, I need to write that down. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna pull it off. But in like September to October, I want there to be a 30-day span where I travel 30 straight days and go to games somewhere. And I want to partner with like SeatGeek or somebody.
Yes.
And just go to games for 30 days.
I like this.
You know what I mean? Because like 30 days, you can hit 3 to 4 football games. So you got football on Sundays, so Sundays are good.
Saturdays, you got college football.
College football Saturdays. You've also got baseball. So baseball will cover a good range in there on the dailies.
That'll get you Wednesdays.
Yeah, for sure. But then also hockey. Hockey has started.
True.
Towards the end, I might be able to catch a basketball game or two preseason. So like, I would love to do that with a ticketing partner and travel the country.
I like this has been a fun idea that I've seen across YouTube as of recently. Like they get to go to like all the Thursday night games or like all the Monday night games. It's like 30 games in 30 days is almost like the name of a movie. It's like the true 30 for 30.
I still have to come up with a name, but look, listen, if I see this out there, I know I only got like, you know, few followers here or there. Let me see my stuff run up on the screen next year. This is IP right here, the American Fan 365. Let me see it run up there. And somebody talking about something, we're going through a gauntlet or some stupid nonsense. I'm going to sue the daylights out of you.
31 for 31. So that way it's not trademarked. 31 for 31.
A full month.
Yes.
A full month plus. Ooh, a full month plus 1.
Boom.
All right, I gotta remember that later. That's
I love that you came up with this idea because I know you're going to be like, oh, who am I going to get to film this?
Yes. No, for real. Like,
who am I going to get to edit this?
Because, like, okay, so perfect world. This is perfect world we're talking about. Hotel partner, travel partner, ticketing partner. I get all 3 of those. We just got to worry about food.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we just tell them what we're doing. And people.
I mean.
We'll eat only at tailgates. So then that way it's like, that way we have to be nice and interact with people. And then like, if we don't do that, we don't get food.
Yeah, man, we never did anything with the tailgating footage. Did we got tailgating footage from that game, right?
Yes.
Dang, we never did anything with that footage.
I think we have a couple of videos, but.
Yeah, we never did anything with that one. Because it just moves. And then once a week goes by, it leaves.
Yes, you are 100% correct.
It's gone.
But there was a good interview you had with a Commanders fan that now I'm remembering.
Yes.
You got to get it out.
Oh God. And that was before the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be really good.
Oh,
I think he follows me too.
Delusional Commanders fan talks about how they're going to win 12 games.
That was
then just like a montage of Sam Howell interceptions.
Why do you hurt me this way? Why do you?
You hurt yourself, dude. You keep wearing Redskins jerseys. I mean, this is the sadness season. Like,
hey, listen. You know, I could have went Sean Taylor today. I still have to find my Santana Moss jersey. I don't know where the heck the thing is, but it is a cape, so it's probably best that I might have even gave it away. That's probably what happened to it. It probably was given away in the big jersey send off. Like, this is a big jersey, and every time I wear it, I feel awkward. I took a picture with Teofimo Lopez on last Monday when I was doing Nick's show, and and basically, I was like, people were commenting like, "What's good with your jersey?" And I was like, "Damn, man, leave me alone. Like, some of these jerseys is old."
Yeah, dude, it's history. I have a Ben Roethlisberger jersey that touches my kneecaps.
That a boy.
And I wear it sometimes. Like,
that a boy.
Yeah, not tucked in. I mean, how can you tuck it in? You know, it's like a 4X jersey. But who cares? It's a Big Ben. It actually fits the jersey name. You know.
Yes. His
like
name isn't. He doesn't have the arch in the name. It's just a flat line.
It would be an oxymoron if you had an Ed Too Tall Jones jersey and it was tight on you. You know?
That's just sacrilege right there.
Right.
But let's talk briefly about what's going on in the NBA. The NBA, we had another crazy week of stat lines for NBA stars. Luka dropped 73 in a win over the Hawks. He had 41 in the first half. I watched the middle portion of the game. So I saw the end of the first half where we're like, good God, that boy got 41. And then I saw like probably the most of the third. And like, he was on fire.
Probably one of the, like, just next to Jokic, like, as far as slow play that is just like dominating. I always feel like Luka's a perfect example of like if LeBron was a true scorer. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron relied on a lot of his scoring to be like physical early on and stuff, but Luka's got a strap. So like, he makes 73 look relatively easy. You know what I mean?
Look, I think he only took like 30 shots and he only maybe missed like 8 of them. He was on fire. And I was actually telling this yesterday when I was at the barbershop. Shout out to Rico. Thank you for always cutting my hair over at Cutting Edge. It's a shameless plug. I need to talk to Reggie about that. We need to get Reggie on the line. But yeah, I was telling him, I was like, Luka is honestly this generation's Larry Bird. They play the exact same way. Like, if you say, oh, Larry Bird couldn't play in today's game, I point to you straight at Luka Doncic and just say, and actually Rico made a really good point. He was like, he's Bird with a handle. Like, Bird had a functional handle. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Old school players, we weren't doing all of this. It wasn't a whole lot of side to side. It was real tight.
They knew how to set somebody up for a screen.
Yeah.
And they knew how to curl off.
That's right.
Just so that they can get a shot off without being, contested.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. But Luka, I mean, man, he had a few where it was like when he got to like 50 something, I think it was like 56. They finally started running double teams.
I was about to say, at what point were they like, all right, this is enough?
56.
How is that not at halftime?
I don't know.
Like, guys, he's dropped 41 on our head. Like, we should probably start throwing some doubles.
And it was on and I want to say Luka did it on the anniversary of Kobe's death.
Jory can confirm that.
So there was that side of it as well. So that wasn't in I guess the sad but then also beautiful thing is that we're moving forward. That wasn't like the main headline of it. Like, oh, he's the because this is the most points ever scored since Kobe's 81. And he did it on
Oh yeah, because Booker got 70.
Yeah. And I think somebody else got 71 maybe.
Right.
But 73 is the most points that have been scored in a game since Kobe's 81.
Wow.
Yep. But not to be outdone, Karl Anthony Towns dropped 62 in a loss versus the Charlotte Hornets, and he had 44 at halftime. So second half he kind of tailed off.
Did they start throwing doubles at him, or
I
did
don't
start
know.
Missing shots?
I have no idea, but that sounds very much like a Karl Anthony Towns stat line where it's like, I go nuts, but we lost.
They benched him at the end of that game too. Yeah.
Whoa.
He shot them out the game completely.
Is
Bench-
that
benched them in the
what
last 5
happened?
minutes, yeah.
I think I do remember hearing some murmurings about that. Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. He was trying to go for it, and you don't got it no more. You got to move that pill.
Hold on, I need to find.
Yeah, we lost. Like, you had half our points. Congrats, we lost. That's crazy.
I mean, he was still shooting 60%.
Yeah, but he must have been that on fire in the first half and that not in the second half. Because 44.5 is stupid. I don't know. But I guess the main thing really before we get off of NBA is like, at what point are we gonna play defense?
Oh, in the playoffs, Josh. That's the only time the NBA decides to care. Unfortunately. Oh, maybe we should do another play-in tournament. That was fun.
Spring
that was
playing,
fun for a little bit.
Playing. Maybe do it in the Bahamas.
Yeah, we
or
do.
Hawaii.
These guys. They just need more incentives. I love it. Let's get LeBron another championship.
Another, man, I keep giving you guys secret sauce. Another one of my events I used to call is Bunnies and Ballers, is Playboy Playmates and Ballers. So maybe just set up a court at the Playboy Mansion and just figure it out.
Man,
roll the footage. See how it plays out. But let's go ahead and switch gears over to the NFL. Most of our show is going to be the NFL today. So our NFL segment is brought to you by our good friends at Coco Love. Coco Love, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365 podcast. Head over to www.cocolovewater.com for your own case of coconut refreshment and use the code TAF365 for your discount on Hawaiian Beach vibes. George, we finally have made it to Super Bowl 58. It's a repeat of Super Bowl 54. The Niners will face off against the Chiefs. You want to just start right there, or you want to just keep going?
I would appreciate to do the preview of what I know is going to happen in the Super Bowl, and then we can talk about what happened this past week.
Okay.
I mean, because it's as simple as this, Josh. Patrick Mahomes is going to wipe the floor with the 49ers. It's not going to be close. Give me every prop over Patrick Mahomes passing yards, Travis Kelce touchdowns, Isaiah Pacheco rushing yards. It's not a contest. The 49ers were handed 2 victories. They got by the Green Bay Packers by the grace of God, and then the Detroit Lions legitimately handed them a victory on a silver platter. It's not going to happen with a team that's been there before, and that's that. They faced 2 teams that had no playoff acumen late into the season. They were young teams, and so for that reason, I'm out. I'm out on the 49ers.
Shark Tank?
Yes.
For that reason, I'm out.
Do you feel any differently, or? Well,
I mean, I was gonna wait to get into the matchup, but we can do things out of sequence. That's no problem. I guess my main thing, and we can actually go through who has the advantage. I set up like who has the advantage on offense, who has the advantage on defense, who has the advantage on special teams, coaching, and also I said momentum. So up first, the Niners advantage, I would say in terms of skill, the Niners win. They have more.
Correct.
Because right now it's Kelce and
Rashee Rice,
the Kelceettes.
Yes.
Versus, versus a whole bunch of stallions. And it's like you just got to take one away. So that's the first part, is who has the better offense. I would say the Niners do. As far as the defense goes, I would go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a top 5 defense. The Chiefs have looked better. That big play to Zay Flowers in yesterday's game, they were talking about that was like the first big play the Chiefs have given up in however many games. Mm-hmm. So they aren't having a propensity for blown coverages, big plays, or momentum shifting plays. And so that reason I'm going defense with them. As far as the special teams, Moody from the Niners is shaky at best.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie. Exactly. Harrison Butker has been here before. He's made these kicks. They also have, if they decide to roll Mecole Hardman out there or McCole Hardman, he's solid at punt return, kick returns. They also could return back to Kadarius Toney, who made a huge play in last year's Super Bowl. I would go with the Chiefs there. Coaching, you got to go with the Walrus.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think now in terms of motivation, I would still go with him. But I think my biggest issue with Kyle Shanahan is he likes to get too cute. And he tries to get too smart, and he outsmarts himself a lot, especially in big moments. As you said before, they were handed that game pretty much by the Lions. So it was more or less riding the wave and momentum to the victory. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, momentum, I'd say it's a push. That I'd say is a push. Because the Chiefs, they've been underdogs more in this playoff than they've ever been in the past, going on Super Bowl runs. But you can say what you want about the Niners. They have come back in back-to-back games. Now, granted, both of those were at home. This is a neutral site. They at least have the feeling of, we can do this. So I would say it's a push there.
Gotcha.
But you go ahead and give me yours. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, and momentum.
No, I think everything you had listed there, I was in 100% agreement. The 49ers got the better offense. The Chiefs got the better defense. Who did you give special teams to?
Special teams is the Chiefs as well, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and like there was nothing that you said there that was wrong, and that's why my rant at the beginning is why I have to stick with this. The fact that the Chiefs opened up as an underdog for the third straight week in a row with the greatest quarterback that has played in the 2020s.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, I was going to say greatest of all time, but watch him win this next ring. And then I've seen the stats and the way they line up. He would be well ahead of pace of Tom Brady if he was to win this Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this would be 3.
Yep.
So now granted, Brady did win 3 in his first 4 years as a starter.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
It would match in that regard, the amount of championships they've had in their first 6 years.
Yeah. But I guess my only thing, well, not even my only thing, if he wins this one, because we talked last week about legacy and this game being a legacy. If he wins this one, it's Aikman, Bradshaw, Montana, Brady. That's the list.
Yep.
So when you start talking greatest of all time and those things, if he wins this one, it sets him up to really be in that conversation, because you can't take any, and especially if he plays as long as these guys are playing, you can't take anything away from him.
Yeah.
He's got more than Peyton now. He's got more than a lot of other great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
It's amazing the coaching mismatch that we saw, and I figured that's pretty much all I have on as far as the preview goes. I think it's rather a close coaching matchup going into the Super Bowl. I think Shanahan and Andy Reid are of the same caliber of. I mean, you said he kind of steps over his bounds sometimes, tries to get too cute with it. Yeah. I think you could say the same thing about Andy Reid sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
At points.
For sure.
I think they've done a lot less of it this year since they know they don't have Tyreek Hill, and they're like,
we can't play games.
Yeah, no. Let's keep this shit really simple for these guys. Yeah. And the only person that gets cute with it at all is Kelsey. Yeah. But just to highlight one of the things that I saw to start off the game with the Chiefs, and this is the same thing that I look forward to. I want to try to find a trend here. The fact that the Chiefs find Travis Kelsey on the first play of the game regularly blows my mind. The defense all week is we need to stop 87. And it doesn't matter what defensive coverage is thrown out there. For example, against the Ravens, they ran a 1-yard flat route. It was literally Travis Kelsey is just kind of getting he gets a little clearance from the receiver, and he's underneath, catches it, gets 3 yards. It's such a big play, and people don't understand it, but it just goes to show that Andy Reid is able to get the ball to his best player even when all week you were trying to stop him.
Yeah.
And your entire game plan is to stop him. And that right there is so I want to look back over these past couple of seasons and just see how many times the first play of the game has gone to Travis Kelce.
Also, shout out to Travis Kelce breaking the all-time receptions record for the postseason. He broke Jerry Rice's record. I think it was like 152 catches or 142 or something like that. But yeah, that's I didn't even realize that was up for discussion. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's cemented himself, dude, and all these Travis Kelce people that are now fans because of Taylor Swift. I think during the beginning of the season, like it was like, oh, they just don't know how good he is, and now they're like, oh, he's good. Yeah, he's really good.
She didn't date a slouch. I mean,
yeah, I know
that's for sure.
It's crazy.
The other way around, I mean, she's got money,
By the way, I saw this after the Chiefs game. I had never seen Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend make it to the field to like hug and kiss him after the game.
I feel like she did.
But Taylor Swift was fucking right there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
And did you see Andy Reid pointing at her in the crowd?
Andy Reid never pointed at his ex-girlfriend.
That's for sure. He definitely didn't give a shout out to the black girlfriend. That's for sure. I'll leave that.
Damn.
I'll leave that up for your own debate.
Andy Reid.
That's unfair. It's unfair judgment and put out there on Andy Reid. I take that back. I refuse to do that. I've already had a few racial posts in the last few weeks, so we're gonna try to clean that up. But George, I've been naming all the bowls, all the games this playoffs. So I've got two names for this one, and I'll let you pick which one you like best. So the first one is easy. It's the So We Meet Again Bowl. Obviously,
okay. Yes,
4 years. A lot has happened in 4 years. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback of the Niners 4 years ago. Now it's Brock Purdy. There's been some changes on that defense, but the defense is still very much intact. I think Fred Warner was he a rookie then?
I believe
maybe?
so.
So you know what I mean. So like, there's been elements of the team that still remain. But the other one is the faithful versus the Swifties Bowl. So the Niners are known as the faithful.
Yep.
And God bless them, they've been faithful this playoff run, because there's been some sad, distressed looks on the sidelines during these games. Like,
yeah,
it's been real bad. And then they like one momentum play, and I'm like, all right, let's do something to combat this roar.
Yeah.
Mistake after mistake. But then obviously the Swifties, you said Taylor Swift. My funniest part about this whole situation is Taylor Swift fans like looking at Super Bowl prices like, oh, $8,000, that's it? To get a glimpse of Taylor? I'll be there. That's how much these girls are paying for these concerts. Like $8K is like, oh yeah, it's a night with Taylor. It's fine.
Just give me daddy's card. I'll be able to make it.
My gracious. I don't know where they're going for their money, but never mind. They're going to OnlyFans. We'll keep that along as well.
Well, you'd hope they'd be entrepreneurs like that, but most of them are doing exactly what I said. All right.
The tickets are going to spike because of the Swifties. I swear to God.
So my name for this one, just came up with it on the fly.
Okay.
The Who's Your Daddy Bowl.
Okay.
So you have Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan kind of like duking it out once again. People have always been like talking down. I'm calling it the Who's Your Daddy Bowl because the Chiefs will dominate this game. And then I just look at all the position groups, right? So Patrick Mahomes getting it over Brock Purdy. Who's your daddy, right? Travis Kelce over George Kittle. Who's your daddy?
Ooh.
Andy Reid over Kyle Shanahan. Who's your daddy? Let me close it off with Chris Jones over Nick Bosa. Who's your daddy?
Ooh.
The Who's Your Daddy Bowl is what the Super Bowl should be called.
Now, Nick Bosa versus black quarterbacks. He does have a propensity for getting loose.
Oh no.
Like a slavery overseer. He's ready to go.
Damn,
I need to stop with
him and Andy Reid both, man. Him and Andy Reid. Just can't get enough.
I need to pull it together. But let's briefly switch gears over to the losers, the teams that came one game short of their final end goal. up first with the Ravens. Number 1 seed Lamar, probably the prohibitive favorite for another MVP, for a second MVP. You see, Mahomes wasn't even listed in the running this year. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't have a great season, but Lamar and the Ravens, first off, that game was a defensive struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it before we got on air. 17-7 in the first half. 17-7 is where it stayed. I didn't see that coming. It blew 2 of my tickets. All I had was 2 tickets, and we busted. That was it.
Yeah. The tale of literally one half. Because that second half of football was pretty unbearable for me to watch. The fact that Lamar is going to win the MVP trophy and he can't understand the value of a check down route, it just boggles my mind. He's a quarterback that still has, at least for me, he's got a long way to go before I feel confident with him playing from behind. When the Ravens were up all year this year and they were fucking dogging people, Lamar looks amazing.
Yeah.
But Lamar playing from behind definitely highlighted a lot of his downfalls. And I think a lot of his downfalls is he thinks too deep. He was reading the field
30 yards back,
he was playing Madden, bro. He's we're just, hey, deep. 4 verts me, all right? I'm going to hot route this curl to a post. He's I'm trying to move the ball downfield.
Yeah.
And there was multiple times in that game where I saw his check down route just complete, just kind of standing there, sitting in the zone, and you're like, bro, get the ball out to him. Get the ball moving down the field. Because the Chiefs were giving that up all day.
Yeah, yeah. I guess what I will say, Lamar, my biggest thing with Lamar is, especially in games like this, you see it with Josh Allen. The only difference is Josh Allen, when it gets to these type of games, he's going to do whatever it takes to get the ball moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run for 15 yards. I'm going to run for 5 if that's what it takes to continue to put us in good down and distances.
Correct.
And sometimes I feel, and it's interesting, I was saying this over the weekend, I was saying this yesterday, sometimes I feel like black quarterbacks, especially ones that have mobility, they try to take a back seat to their arm sometimes just to say, see, look, I'm a quarterback. Where it's like, bro, this is what got you here. This is what makes you different. This is what makes you great. I think back to Donovan McNabb, not another Andy Reid player. Remember
I do.
No, you might not remember when he made the shift. So Donovan McNabb early on, he never had the speed of a Michael Vick or those kind of guys.
Right.
But Donovan McNabb was getting 60, 70 yards rushing a game.
Yeah.
That was normal. And then after they went to the conference finals a few times and all that kind of stuff, he publicly kind of came out and was like, yeah, I want to, throw more. I don't want to run as much. I'm a great thrower. And that's where I feel like his career started to slide, because he started to think too cerebral about the game versus reacting.
Yes, and that's the big thing that you said there. It's reacting, because you can highlight, obviously we know Lamar's a one-of-a-kind talent running the ball. There's moments in time in the football game as a quarterback where you need to run for the first down because everything is taken and all you need is 3 yards.
That's it.
Jared Goff had so many moments in his game, and I know we'll get to it, where it's like, just run the ball, man. Just run. Literally. You're looking down the field, lower your shoulder, get 3 yards. You're capable of doing that. But you said he's not reacting, and there's moments in time where it's like, okay, deep's not there. Is my check down there? No, I'm going. Yeah. And it was like Lamar was then in those moments where he should have been going, just sitting in the pocket, and then he would get caught from behind. There was more times yesterday that I saw Lamar get caught from behind. I was like, what is happening right now?
Too late.
Chris Jones is not that fast, but you're making Chris Jones look fast.
Hey, big fella's moving. He's moving out there, George. He's moving.
Sure. He was moving on that 40-yard dash too.
Oh my goodness. Before we move on to the Lions, we've got a video of Zay Flowers when Zay Flowers cut his hand yesterday in the game. And my biggest thing that I kind of felt in that moment because it happened in frustration. Because at first, when it first happened, Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, they were talking about, oh, he cut his hand on the fumble. Crazy thing, 2 straight weeks where we've had a fumble into the end zone for a touchback. That doesn't happen once a season, and we had it back-to-back weeks.
Right.
That's how close these games have been in terms of the margin and the inches. But to cut your finger, and they kind of after the fact they come back and say no, he actually cut his finger, hitting his hand on the bench and whatever. And it's like, George, this is the look of desperation when you're just not good enough. When you're just not good enough. Yeah, here it is right here. He's cut his hand. He's looking at it.
Yeah, dude, that. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, but then after this, George, they kept the camera on him for a moment. And it's like, people don't understand, like, imagine, okay, because again, it was still 17-7.
Yep.
So even if they just get points on that drive, we're only down a touchdown now.
Yep.
But to fumble it through the end zone, you've already had a moment, and then the camera's just like this, constantly on you on the bench.
Yeah.
Like, you're more and more upset. You're more and more just like in your own head. Like, man.
When I was 21 years old, and I believe he's 21, he may be 22, okay, I reacted the same exact way. And that was 3 years ago. Like, I think about it, dude, I've come a long way. But, I mean, they do say your brain's not fully developed till you're 25, 26 years old. He'll develop a little bit of resiliency. Crappy moment. He'll never forget it. I always say this whenever it's a situation where they're reaching out for a touchdown and they fumble it. I'm like, you can't be that selfish. And I know that's crazy to say because you're looking just to get it across and score a touchdown. But it's something that offensive coordinators, I feel, may have gone away from, is like the importance of protecting the ball in the red zone. That is the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
And you
99 yards.
And you see it happen a lot. And I just think it's got to be something that these offensive coordinators are, not relaying to these guys enough, that it's like, you just protect the ball and get into the end zone.
Yes.
Like, that's more important than reaching out and having the possibility of this. When that happened, that's when the weekend went sour for me, by the way. Like, because I needed the Ravens to win.
Oh, okay,
I needed them to make it to the Super Bowl and lose to the Lions. And as soon as that Zay Flowers touchback happened, I actually I had posted this video on Twitter of they missed an illegal man downfield call on the very following drive. So like after the touchback, they ended up getting the ball back at the 20, and then there was the third down. If you want to pull this up, Jory, I had a. And it's an illegal man downfield that they don't call. Oh. I'll show you. So it's the left tackle.
Okay. Yeah. Where's he at? Yeah.
He's.
Well, you know what though? That's one of those where that doesn't get called a lot.
I know. He was 5 yards downfield. And people in the comment section were definitely saying like, oh, he was at the line of scrimmage when the ball was thrown. But I'm like, you can't engage 5 yards downfield on a linebacker that's coming to pursue. Like, that's an illegal man downfield. That's a 3rd and 7. You back them up to a 3rd and 12. And now the Ravens on that drive didn't get the ball back till 9 minutes to go. So you're talking about they had the possibility of getting 5 more minutes back on the clock.
Yeah, sure.
It wouldn't have mattered because Lamar Jackson was, I mean, the triple coverage interception.
Well, no, you know what? No, you know what? Okay. You always the quarterback always takes the blame. He always says, I'm the person with the ball that has to deliver the ball. But Isaiah Likely did throw his hand up like he was open, saying, hey, I'm open. And the second he threw his hand up, the daggone defense went like this, shaw. Like, and it was like he was open, but then he wasn't.
Lamar Jackson threw a soft pass.
Yes, and he threw a duck.
That's
now,
not
if anything, that ball's through the back of the end zone.
100%.
If he
Justin Herbert hits the crossbar.
Either he catches it or nobody catches it.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing a duck underneath.
Yeah, no, that's just not going to happen.
It's unfortunate.
And so I think what we've seen, and until I'm proven otherwise, this is Lamar Jackson's ceiling.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'll say this. It's interesting because I look at it like this. I'm trying to remember what year that was where like the Pats lost to like the Dolphins or the Ravens in the first round. One of those years they just were a little off. It's going to take one of those kind of years because obviously Mahomes, especially if like Kelsey retires this year, there's going to be some growing pains moving forward because they can't just keep restarting their receiver room every year.
Right.
But man, oh man, that's gonna it's gonna be tough. But I still look between the Bengals, the Ravens, or the Bills. One of those teams got to find a way to push through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and that's the thing. Like, the road is so tough in the AFC right now. And that's why I'm saying that is his cap. I mean, I think he'll run into a Josh Allen. I think next year he'll run into a Joe Burrow, you know? And then worst comes to worst, you're going to get exactly the same thing that you got handed to you today or yesterday with the Chiefs dominating you. He should have... Lamar, you should be a New Orleans Saint, but we had our heads so far up our fucking asses that we were like, Derek Carr's the answer. No, we should have backed up the Brinks truck for you, my man, and brought you a little closer to home. I apologize. He would have imagined Lamar Jackson in the NFC with the Saints talent. Oh.
Could have been magical.
I don't care if that his cap in the AFC is not making it to the Super Bowl. His cap in the NFC is you'll make it to the Super Bowl.
Especially for the next few years.
Yeah.
There's definitely some cracks in the foundation.
Oh, he could have been a Saint.
He could have been everywhere.
He could. I know that's the thing. I don't think he made the right choice by staying in Baltimore.
Well,
No.
I don't think it was so much him. I don't think people took a real run at him. Because of like owner backdoor deals and all that kind of stuff, I don't think teams really gave him a viable look, and they should have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you had any kind of playmakers and you just like, oh, all we need is a quarterback. Like the Bears could have looked at him. Like, you know what I mean? The Dolphins could have looked at him. Yeah. Like there's a lot of different ways that it could have went. It's crazy. Switching gears over to the Lions. Dan Campbell showed off why long shots don't pay off in the long run. Chance after chance on fourth down. They kept going for it. They left 6 points on the board in the fourth quarter, which could have essentially shifted the game, changed the game completely. All the game's tied. We don't go for three. We give the ball back. They go score. Okay, we have another chance to come down, get three more after bobble and a horrible drive. Like it wasn't like anything in the game was telling you, hey, my boys, they feel good right now.
Right.
We're tough enough to rise above all these mistakes that we've made. Like take the points and snatch some momentum back. Like he just kept allowing the momentum to keep sliding the other way.
Yeah.
And that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate to me.
Oh, it was unfortunate to a lot of people. A lot of people, I would imagine the books made out a good deal yesterday because of the hype train that everyone was buying into with the Lions. And I mean, dude, they were underdogs. It was a day where you saw both underdogs on the schedule and you were like, I think I'm putting in a 2 underdog parlay here just because, you know, the Lions have the ability to score a lot of points. When they chose not to, that first one, you got to do it. And I've been hearing, and I've been on the Lions all year. I know that this is Dan Campbell's mentality, and everyone's like, well, you don't be like Brandon Staley and flip-flop when you get into that situation. Like, if you're going to be a team that goes for it, then go for it. Unless it's a chance to go up 3 possessions with 6 minutes in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You go up 17 there, even if they go down and score, you know you have 2 more times of them having the ball in order for them to beat you.
Yeah.
And you have to play like that type of game. Even if you miss the field goal, missing a field goal is less of a momentum builder than a
turnover on downs.
A turnover on downs. And as soon as it was happening, Josh, that's when I sank into my couch because I mean, I damn near
Listen.
I should have just live bet the 49ers at that point because you knew.
Every football fan, truthfully, every football fan, like that's a real football fan, you felt it.
Mm-hmm.
It was that, and then the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble.
Oh my God! But I love Jahmyr Gibbs to death too, dude. I mean, like, how do you not put your hands like this?
Well, no. What Olsen said was he ran the wrong way. And so it messed up the timing. Jared Goff turned the wrong way because Jahmyr Gibbs went to the wrong side. And so then it was like it was just a mishandle from there, and he never really was able to lock it away.
And these people in the NFL are so good. Like they're the best they've ever been at getting the ball out.
You think so?
Oh yeah, dude. Huh. They see just a little sliver of that ball.
Yeah.
And it was yoink, like that dude in the Amazon is like yoink, like picking up little alligators and stuff. They just take it from you. I mean, Zay Flowers is a perfect example. Like legit, you would not have seen that play 12 years ago.
Not
like L'Jarius Sneed, like, dude.
Yeah.
All these
from a corner.
All these defensive players have an excellent future in boxing if they want to take it up after football because it's unlike I've ever seen before. That was a slight mishap, and he was.
You know what? Okay, I guess from that perspective, yes, it is the best because that started with the peanut punch. That started with peanut Tillman and all that stuff. I think the older players, it was more physicality in terms of the fumbles.
They just wanted to hit you as hard as you've ever been hit in your life.
I'm going to try to kill you out here. And so, like, that was different because I'm like, no, I used to see more fumbles, but, like...
You see way more broken tackles now because of what I'm describing to you because they're going in just... And if they miss, they miss. They know they got their teammates coming to wrap them up and finish it off.
Or should.
Yeah. But, I mean, you knew it as soon as it happened. I think the 49ers, though, got very much so exposed in these past two games. And I know I said over on all the Chiefs props in the Super Bowl, but, like, Isaiah Pacheco is rushing for 100 yards versus this 49ers defense.
I think so.
I mean, they just had... Jahmyr Gibbs went for 45, and then David Montgomery went for 93. So, and then Aaron Jones the week before ran for like 120.
Yeah.
So, like, they've been giving up a lot in the rushing department, which is surprising because they have such like a stout defensive line. But you can really see like how some teams, especially like the 49ers defensively, they're a better pass defense team than they are a rush defense team.
Yeah.
And it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah. Before we move on to the final thing of the show, I will say that third round pick that we got for Chase Young, the Redskins, it's looking better and better as the days go by.
As I was watching the game, I was like, man, Chase Young really like is like he's a bad omen. Like, because when they were getting ran on, I was like, wow. He was getting blocked up by Sam Laporta and like receivers sometimes.
Reynolds.
And I'm like, bro, you're letting Josh Reynolds set an edge on you? Like,
set an edge, like completely out of the play.
Like, dude, whoa,
bro.
Like he was, ugh.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
That was a great call. I when it happened first time, I was like, wow, what are the Commanders doing? And then now I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, I still wanted more.
Yeah.
It's a second pick of the draft. Like, I still want something. Like, even if it was 2 3s or something, but it's like 1 3. Because, I mean, shoot, Montez Sweat got a second.
Yeah.
So we got the Bears' second round pick. So that's a very good pick.
Yeah, but they have a lot of picks.
They do. But you know what? Before we move on to Montez Sweat, first player ever to lead 2 teams in sacks in the same season.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's
nuts.
That's a stat. I saw that stat like a week ago and I was like, oh, wow. Because he ended up, I want to say he ended up with 8 or 9, maybe like 7 or 8 sacks for the Commanders, and then he ended up with another like 7 or so with the Bears, and he was the leader on both teams.
That's crazy.
First time in history that ever happened.
That's wow.
Yep. Well, all right, George, let's go ahead and close out the show. What matchup, George, are you most excited about in this year's Super Bowl?
I would love to see the way that the 49ers Let me see. I guess if I'm thinking like specific matchups. Do you think L'Jarius Sneed guards Deebo Samuels, or do you think he guards Brandon Ayuk? I'm excited to see, because I think they're going to play a lot of man-to-man defense, and L'Jarius Sneed is kind of like cemented a position in my head in football knowledge that he's a very good player. So they'll have to decide who they're going to go one-on-one with.
I'll probably say he sticks with Deebo more, and then McDuffie goes to Ayuk.
Because he's outside.
Yeah, well, and I feel like because McDuffie's still young, so maybe there's still a strength element that may or may not be there. I don't know. This is just off the top of my head. He could be 10 times stronger than L'Jarius Sneed. But in terms of just Sneed's a little older, Sneed, isn't going to be bullied, I don't think.
Right.
I think McDuffie might be better served going on Ayuk. And McDuffie was an all-pro.
True.
So, I think if you take Ayuk away, like take him away, that already hurts them. Because I feel like Deebo can be hit or miss. Some games he's like lighting it up.
Yeah, but he gets the ball in such creative ways that a lot of the times he's getting it's behind the line of scrimmage anyways, going
sideways.
Yeah, going sideways. So like it changes responsibilities. Often. So like the success that you can have against him comes from a unit,
a matchup standpoint,
as opposed to like a one-on-one on the outside. But what about you?
I've got two. I've got Kelsey versus Fred Warner.
Ooh, or Dre Greenlaw. Like, they could possibly. Dre Greenlaw's tough.
Yeah, no, he is. He's very good.
He's a scary looking individual.
He's very good. Fred Warner is probably one of the best zone linebackers and coverage linebackers in the league. So that's an interesting matchup to me, especially if we're saying Travis Kelce goes for 100 again. If he goes for 100 again, it's good. The Niners are going to be in a little bit of trouble, especially if he gets in the end zone. But then the second one is Mahomes versus Steve Wilks. What adjustments does Wilks make versus what adjustments does Mahomes make, whether they're running man or zone? Right. Because that second game, the game versus the Lions, they started having to run man, and that's not really what they do. Yeah. So, it's I'm interested to see how both of those play out.
I'm not the biggest fan of Steve Wilks.
No, I'm not either.
Like, I just think he looks a little frazzled on the sideline. Yes. To say, like, he made the move halfway through the year going from the press box down to the field. And then every time I see him, I'm like, It's like seeing Brandon Staley as your defensive guy. It's just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like Steve Spagnuolo, tough guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's like walking around. He's like
mad. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know what?
Steve Wilks is like calling the defense like it's like he's reading the Sunday paper.
That's interesting. Yes. Like certain defensive coordinators, defense is about toughness. Defense is about imposing your will. Defense is about getting stops, getting stands. You know what I mean? And when you do have a defensive coordinator that's very, laissez-faire, it does come off as like, well, what are we doing here? Like, there's no passion. Yeah. Like, the defensive side is always supposed to be like, oh, let's go.
Dan Campbell, dude.
Yes.
You got to look. Dan Campbell looks like a pirate, by the way. Like, on the side, he's got the nastiest teeth. Like, can we get this man?
Really? I've never seen his teeth.
Oh, yeah. They're just dip-colored. Like he looks like a pirate. Like somebody in Detroit hook him up with a fresh set of pearly whites.
You're gonna have to find that.
Oh yeah,
I've literally never seen the man's teeth.
No, of course.
I know if you said it, then it's got to exist somewhere.
I always look at people's teeth when they like do chewing tobacco a lot.
Ooh. Dip does that to you, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just like, and he drinks 600 milligrams of caffeine.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
Show my screen here.
Oh, here we go. Oh, snap.
Yeah, you see my guy's got just yeah, he doesn't got the best set of pearly whites.
Oh, snap.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody in Detroit's got to hook this man up.
Man, Dan Campbell's teeth look
we need
like
him looking like Steve Harvey.
His teeth look like his breath is kicking like Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that's defense, though. That screams, I call a good defense. My breath smells like shit.
That is 100%. Yeah. That is 100%. I don't want to be close to you in the huddle. Like, it's like, yeah, I hear you, but like, give me 10 feet. Just 10.
Every time Dan Campbell comes by, he just puts his helmet on. It's like, I need a little barrier.
I need something to break this up.
Can I get a visor for the bottom part too?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. They truly, truly do help our numbers. To George, the bearded one on the right today, not in the back.
George baby.
And George baby, and then also to Mr. Jory in the voice of God behind the screen. We thank you guys. See you guys next time.